Do they not know, like, when she was gone, it went back to the year before she was in the league?
Yeah.
Like,
You guys as a group, what is very important? Because this is not men and women. Men are thinking business. You guys are thinking emotional. Right? You guys think, why does she deserve?
Because not one of them girls is going to go in there and be like, I think she probably should be on. Not one of them.
No, of course not.
Ex-NBA star just dropped a truth bomb so massive, it deserves its own retired jersey. The WNBA messed with Caitlin Clark, and now the basketball gods are circling the court like, you sure about that? This isn't just a misstep, it's the kind of blunder that gets replayed in slow motion with dramatic music in future documentaries. Buckle up, because someone lit the fuse, and now we're about to watch the league scramble like it just lost the playbook. Let the chaos begin.
Winning gold, that's not the issue, right? You're saying millions of people will be mad if she doesn't play a lot. Well, that means a million people won't be viewing if she's not on the team. So, if she's on a team,
they're watching.
The jersey sales. Do you think you can sell more jerseys without her or with her? Obviously, it's going to be with her.
Absolutely.
USA jersey with her name on it is going to sell.
Everything other than basketball lines up for Caitlin. Everything other than basketball lines up for Caitlin to be on the team.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying.
At this point, Caitlin Clark starting her own league might be the smartest business move in women's sports since Serena Williams first picked up a racket. Let's be real, Clark isn't just a player, she's a one-woman economy. Ticket sales? Boosted. TV ratings? Skyrocketing. Merchandise? Flying off the shelves like hotcakes at a free brunch buffet. And how does the WNBA respond? By treating her like an unpaid intern on her own show. Make it make sense.
the most popular that everyone's fucking with. If you take her off the court, you're back to what you guys were.
The ratings, all that shit.
Why would you even, just enjoy and go on with it? Think about what they was getting paid before they said, Jordan, you're the guy.
Honestly, it's almost impressive how an entire league can fumble the bag this consistently. For decades, they've begged to be seen, respected, and marketed. We need visibility, they cried. We need support, they claimed. And then, like a miracle, the basketball gods delivered Caitlin Clark, a golden goose with a killer jump shot and charisma that prints money. And what did the WNBA do with this generational gift? Smothered her under layers of weird politics, cold shoulders, and enough passive aggression to power an entire family reunion.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting for the All-Star game. The pettiness has no bounds. But it's interesting. For years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, the media is sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the golden goose and they don't like what it looks like. Iowa girl, Indiana girl. Well, who knows? And I've said this for years. When the wave hits, ride it.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting, 9th, for the All-Star game, even behind one of her own teammates. The pettiness knows no bounds. What's wild is that for years, WNBA players pointed fingers, blaming sexism, blaming the media, demanding promotion and respect. And then, finally, they get the golden goose, Clark, the Iowa girl lighting up Indiana, and suddenly they don't like what it looks like. I've said it before, when the wave hits, ride it. But instead, it's like they've been screaming for a lifeboat, finally get one, then go, let's poke holes in it. That's exactly what this feels like.
The women of the WNBA voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard. They sure pay a lot of attention to the 9th best guard. I saw that you put out jealous is the word. I would agree with that. There is still, to this day, a lot of jealousy, and I think maybe it's even getting worse. I do.
I thought we were turning a corner here, Dan. I thought we saw her teammates having her back. I thought we were maybe settling down with this obsession with Caitlin Clark and this. It really feels almost like a hatred toward her. But
the league begged for mainstream attention, then got it in the form of a blonde assassin from Iowa with a flair for the dramatic and a three-point range that defies physics. And suddenly it's too much attention, or not the right kind. Make it make sense. The women of the WNBA just voted Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard, 9th. Funny how much energy they spend on the 9th best guard. Let's call it what it is, jealousy. And honestly, it might be getting worse. Just when it looked like things were turning, Her teammates showing support, the noise dying down. Here comes that middle school lunch table energy again. She's the new kid with the designer backpack, and everyone's salty that their beat-up JanSports aren't cutting it anymore. They're guarding her like she owes them rent, hacking her like it's some team-building exercise, and then pretending not to see it when she gets flattened on the court. It doesn't feel like competition, it feels like resentment.
Of the established stars in this WNBA constantly, quietly, privately complain to their coaches and to their team executives about Caitlin Clark getting way too much attention and way too much credit for the exploding TV ratings. The attitude I sense from so many other older WNBA players seems to be, what are we, chopped liver? It's not just her driving these ratings. What have we been doing all these years? Sorry, ladies, but compared to her drawing power, you are chopped liver.
And when she has the audacity to keep smiling, signing autographs, and boosting viewership, that just makes it worse. The wildest part? Caitlin could literally break off and start her own league, call it Clarkland, and still draw more fans than half the current teams combined. We're talking instant subscribers, sponsorships, a Disney Plus docuseries, collectible action figures, and 12 franchises lined up before the WNBA could finish another press release about growing the game. And while we're here, let's talk about the league's brand strategy, or the flaming dumpster fire that's pretending to be one, because right now it's like watching someone try to assemble IKEA furniture without instructions, glasses, or opposable thumbs.
Okay. All right. So we've talked WNBA, we've talked Angel Reese, we've talked all the things that are going on. There's been this back and forth from all the WNBA players that the league is not just Caitlin Clark. Stop acting like the league is not just Caitlin Clark. There are other people who are doing things. So Caitlin Clark has been injured. So she hasn't been playing. Since Caitlin Clark went down, the WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark.
Here's a player pulling numbers that rival men's sports, captivating audiences coast to coast, drawing comparisons to legends, and instead of leaning in, the league is swerving like it's contagious. The WNBA finally has someone who moves the cultural needle, and they've chosen this moment to play gatekeeper. Bold strategy. Behind the scenes, established stars are constantly, quietly, complaining to coaches and execs about Caitlin Clark getting too much attention, too much credit for the exploding TV ratings. The vibe from many older players seems to be, what are we, chopped liver? We've been grinding for years. Well, sorry ladies, but compared to her drawing power, yeah, you are chopped liver. And here's the thing. The WNBA is acting like popularity is a limited resource, like if Caitlin gets a spotlight, everyone else gets left in the dark. Newsflash, attention isn't pie. No one's losing a slice because she's getting hers with whipped cream and sprinkles. If anything, her spotlight brings more eyes to the whole league.
Speaking of relationships, Alyssa Thomas, during the playoffs, she spoke out and condemned racism. The Fever fans were being the Fever fans.
Yeah, they wanted to latch on to Caitlin Clark and then use her as like this fuel to be able to be the way that they wanted to be. They want her to be the representation of their racism, and she's not like that. You have to be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way, and they thought that she was, and so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that, and then they realized like, oh no, she's actually not.
Unless, of course, the goal isn't to grow the sport, in which case, congratulations, mission accomplished. But you'd think the powers that be could do basic math. If Caitlin Clark brings 15,000 fans to arenas that used to barely scrape together 2,000, and brands that never cared before are now handing out sponsorship deals like Halloween candy, maybe, just maybe, she's good for business star. Instead, the league is treating her like she's crashing some private club. As if being wildly talented, wildly marketable, and wildly likable is somehow a problem. And don't even get me started on the media circus. The mental gymnastics from some analysts trying to downplay her impact is hilarious. She's not that good, they whisper, while she's out here casually dropping logo threes and keeping the league's analytics from flatlining. It's giving full-on bitter X energy. Meanwhile, pundits who couldn't make a left-handed layup are suddenly acting like the gatekeepers of basketball credibility. Sure. Right. Totally believable. Which is exactly why Caitlin Clark should start her own league. One where talent and charisma aren't punished. One where marketing isn't taboo. One where being the most exciting thing to hit the sport in decades doesn't earn you side-eye from the veterans table. So yes, We've talked about the WNBA, Angel Reese, the chaos, the controversy, the passive-aggressive interviews, but underneath all of it, there's this consistent drumbeat, asterisk, the league isn't just Caitlin Clark. Asterisk and sure. It's not, but right now, she's the reason anyone's watching.
Female bird. She had Van Slugenhagen on her. She was like, I'm offended that y'all have white defensive players guarding me, and she put her in the torture chamber. You should have known from her little face that she didn't want this matchup from the beginning. Caitlin reminds me of what Dame does. If anybody ever noticed, her first shot always a three. First quarter, second quarter, third. She sets the distance on her first shot, so you have to guard her there. Now she can do whatever she wants to do. She's playing a chess game. That's what Dame does. He starts his game off. He's going to shoot a deep-ass three to force you to guard her from there.